So this is a review of the DC Comics Multiverse action figure range. Now this is something that's been released fairly recently, and I'll get into the actual figure itself in a minute, but this is the unopened product. You can see it's only got one figure that's actually on display there, and the artwork's pretty cool. It kind of nostalgic really to see these, because obviously this is the Tim Burton 1989 Batman, so it's kind of nostalgic from my point of view, because I grew up with these figures from this film anyway, so it's kind of nice to see specifically this film having figures reissued kind of thing. So on the back it kind of goes into some detail there about the character and what stuff he's got. These are some of the other figures you can get now. From what I understand, the range of figures that they're releasing in this line, it's not just from the films, but also, as you can see here, it says video games as well. DC Comics Multiverse figures are inspired by comic-based, character-rich entertainment sources such as movies and video games. These figures are meticulously designed to be truly authentic, celebrating the many universes of entertaining DC Comics material. And I would agree with that as well. We'll get to the actual figure in a minute, but from what I've seen in the packaging on its own, things like the cape look very impressive. I know what the actual texture of the cape was used in the film, and it does seem to be very much the same, but as I say, I'll get to that in a second. Now you can see some of the other figures that they've got here. The ones that I saw in the shops at the moment, I did see a General Zod one, and there's also a Penguin one as well, which isn't shown here, which I'm going to review next. But for now, these are the figures that have been released, or maybe released shortly if they're not already. There's a Batman Unmasked, so I think that's the Michael Keaton one again. The actual costume looks to be the one from Batman Returns, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell, I don't know if I can get focusing on there or not, but because he does take his mask off in that film, so that might be what that's for. This Mr. Freeze, I think this is from one of the computer games. I'm not terribly familiar with the DC Comics computer games, but I do recognise that as being from... I could be wrong, but let me know if I am. Now, these are distributed by Diamond Comic Distributors. You can see the kind of details there. But that's the packaging anyway. Let's have a look. It says they're adult collector as well, because I guess these could be given to kids as well, but it is really more, maybe, I don't know, this film is more kind of probably loved by adults more than children nowadays. But anyway, let's have a look at the actual figure itself. Okay, so let's have a look at it unboxed. Now, as I say, this is definitely one for the adult collectors. I mean, you could really give this to a kid to play with, but I think it would be overkill, because some of the attention to detail on this is really something that maybe a kid probably wouldn't appreciate. They just want to kind of play with things and destroy them, but this, for starters, for example, anyway, the cape itself, I'm really glad that they haven't used a kind of generic material. When I say generic material, if we were to compare it to, say, the Christian Bale version from the Dark Knight Rises trilogy, or the Dark Knight trilogy, should I say, the material they went with this cape was just kind of basic thing that kind of attaches there. Whereas this one, they've really gone to, you know, actual lengths to have it fit him like it does in the film. So it goes over the shoulders, for example, like that. And the actual material, as I say, itself isn't just a generic material. It's got a kind of leathery kind of feel to it on the outside, and on the underneath it's got more sort of traditional material, kind of lining. I just think it's a nice touch, basically. It's kind of going out of focus, apologies there. But the actual paintwork on it as well, if I can just get the focus back in, the paintwork's pretty good. It does look a little bit kind of... It's got imperfections on it when you look at it up close, but really I think it is good. And the facial likeness to Michael Keaton, I think, is okay. I've seen better, but I mean, this is just to compare as well. This is one from the original when the film came out in 1989. It's quite an old one. In fact, it's been kind of restored. The logo kind of faded off a little bit there. But the likeness on this one was kind of rubbish, so if you kind of look at this one, it is a lot better. But again, just to compare, this was, as I say, the 1989 one that originally came out, and the material on this was kind of generic, and the cape kind of also detached as well, like this. It's quite rare to get one, actually, that's still got the cape attached. Not particularly valuable, but yeah, also the belt on the original one kind of came out. It's kind of hard to do, but like that. And again, that's another feature that's quite rare on these, but that isn't the case with this one, basically. Now, accessories, somewhere around here I've got the actual accessory that goes with it. Here it is. It's got a grapple gun. This is the only thing that comes with it. It was kind of a bit bent in the box, and I've tried to kind of bend it the other way. It kind of, like, you can kind of see how easily it bends. It's a bit kind of cheap, is this. That's maybe one complaint I would say. The accessories are a little bit cheap. But and also the way it fits in the hand, I wasn't quite happy with it. In fact, I'll just show you that now.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
You can get it in his hand, and it does kind of fit quite well. But in terms of, you know, posing, it doesn't hold it straight or anything. Kind of holds it off to the side. You can, of course, turn the hands, maybe turn his head, so it looks like he's kind of pointing it sideways. But I don't know. It's not a very good way of doing it. Now, points of articulation on this thing, it's got points in the wrist, so his hands can kind of turn that way, both hands. It's got joints in the elbows and also in the shoulders, so the arms can kind of go sort of up and down like that. There is a point of articulation in the midsection as well. I don't really want to mess with that because I think the more you turn, the weaker they become. There's also a point of articulation in the head, as I demonstrated before. It only turns sideways, it doesn't kind of go up and down, so it can look up or down. It's just, like I say, it's literally just side to side. Obviously, knees, it's got points of articulation there, and also in the crotch area as well, so quite a lot of articulation on this. I do like the way it stands as well, it does look pretty good. Kind of look at it from the side as well, just kind of get an idea. I don't know, it's got a pretty good pose to it anyway. If I straighten him up a bit. It does stand up fairly easily. Sods law probably won't be able to get him to do it for the video now. There we go. So it looks pretty good when it stood up. I think, you know, on your shelf or whatever, definitely one that's made for adult collectors. I know it says that on the box, but you really do get the feel of that when you've got it out of the box. So that's pretty much my review of this one anyway. Don't have much else to say about it. You can pretty much see for yourself what it is. Now, I have got a couple of other ones that I'm going to review. I've bought a penguin one as well, which is from the 1992 Tim Burton film. So it's kind of going out of focus there. But I'll be reviewing that next anyway, so if you want to check it back at brandxreviews.com. There are other ones in this collection which I haven't got yet. I think there's like 12 of them. There's some kind of ones that tie in with games and stuff. I know there's a Bane one, and also Mr. Freeze and a Deadshot as well. So they're fairly expensive. They're about £16 from places like Forbidden Planet. So if I do collect more of these, it'll be quite a long time it'll take me to get through the collection. But keep checking back at brandxreviews.com, and we will see what else we've got next time. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, if you're a fan of the 1989 Tim Burton film Batman, check out our Amiga 500 computer game review. This was a game that was released to tie in with the film when it originally came out, so it's a bit of nostalgia anyway, so if you're interested in Batman or in the film specifically, check it out. Thank you very much. brandxreviews.com.